This is the Verismo 580 system by Starbucks. The Verismo system by Starbucks makes it possible for the very first time to enjoy Starbucks lattes, Starbucks espresso, and Starbucks brewed coffee all in the comfort of your own home at the simple press of a button. I'm going to show you how the 580 system by Starbucks works today. First thing I'm going to do is fill my water pitcher. You want to fill this up all the way to the black line. There we go. And then I'm going to take the water tank and, starting with a tilting motion, just like this, slide it into place. Then I'm going to turn the machine on with the power button on top. And you'll notice the first thing that's happening is the lights are blinking. The blinking lights means that the machine is heating up. Now that the machine's heated up, I'm going to take my cup and do a rinse cycle. It's really important to do a rinse cycle first to make sure that the machine is properly heated. And it's important to do this before you use the machine after you turn it on each and every time. So all you do is press the espresso button, which doubles as the rinse button. And as the water runs through, this is heating up the internal system and making sure that the coffee is ready to be brewed just as hot as you get in a Starbucks cafe. If you have a very tall glass, what you can do is actually take out this part of the drip tray and replace the stainless steel stand right here. And then that will accommodate a much taller cup in case you have a big cup that you're using. So now that I have my machine heated up, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to brew a Starbucks latte. The Verismo pods come in 3 different varieties. There's a coffee pod for brewed coffee and an espresso pod, and both of those contain 100% pure Arabica beans, the same as are roasted in a Starbucks cafe. The third type of pod is a milk pod, and the milk pod contains 100% dairy that, when I brew it through the machine, creates a 2% latte. So let's show you how to do that. First, we'll drop the milk pod into the machine, just like this, and you want to close the handle in one fluid, swift motion, just like that. You might feel a little resistance. Don't stop to check what's going on. Just close it as simply as I did just there. Then I'll take my cup, put it underneath the spout. Now I'm going to press the bottom button, which is the milk button. Once the milk is finished brewing, I'll take my espresso pod and I'll open up the handle and drop the espresso pod in. Again, closing it swiftly and firmly, we'll go ahead and now press the espresso button, which is the top button. It might blink for a few seconds, which means it's actually bringing itself up to temperature. So because I brewed an espresso very quickly after the milk, the machine is getting itself up to the proper temperature to create a hotter beverage for espresso than it did for milk. And that's to prevent scalding of the milk beverage. So now that I have a solid button color here, go ahead and press it again. And now my espresso will brew right into my brewed milk, which is 2%. Perfect. Now I've created the perfect Starbucks latte in my home and just that quickly. If you want to make sure that there's no drips coming from the spout, simply open the handle and close the handle again, and that'll prevent any additional dripping from happening from the spout. Now I'm going to show you how to make a brewed coffee. I'm going to grab a clean glass first, and we'll stick this underneath the spout. Now the brewed coffee pods are a little different, and there's a piece of foil on the top. What you want to do is remove the foil before you drop it into the machine. Removing the foil releases the pressure and allows you to get a brewed coffee experience rather than a pressure brewed espresso experience. So here we go. Lift up the handle, drop my pod in, one swift motion, and this time I'm going to press the middle button, which is the brewed coffee button. It's as simple as that. Now I've got a brewed coffee that comes out just like a Starbucks cafe. Cleanup is really easy on this machine as well. All you have to do is pull out the pod tray, and there's a used pod container which holds about 10 pods before you have to put it in the trash. And then there'll be some water runoff as well that comes from the pods after they're finished brewing. So don't let it go too long, or you might have an overflow in your tray. So just make sure that you empty this after every few beverages, and you should be in good shape. And now for my favorite part, tasting the coffee. It's extremely hot. And it tastes just like the quality I get at a Starbucks cafe. This is the Verismo 580 system.